Everybody. Shamsinet here. I am doing a day 41 check-in, and there's a lot going on with respect to how Bbb&E is working for me in my MACFS body. So let's just jump right in. First of all, I am noticing a really remarkable level of ongoing endurance and vitality through the day, which at first I wasn't going to mention because I just wanted to be sure it's real. And the truth is, oops, here's Seamus. Say hi, Seamus. One of my 5 fur babies. It has been sustained. It's sustainable for the last, I don't know, whenever it was I posted, I guess day 30, when I posted that short video about how alive I feel. It's been building gradually. So there's this slow, steady momentum, and slow, steady momentum for MECFS bodies. Even just maintaining at a new level is really important, so we get adjusted to it. And I'm thrilled to say that I am seeing a huge shift in my ability to function throughout the day with rests. Also, my mental capacity. I noticed just the other day that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is usually about an hour into what I think of as my uh, um, mm, uh, uh, what do you call it? My see, there goes my brain. Hello, MECFS brain. There's a word for it, but anyway, but usually around then, it starts to get kind of tricky interacting with people, and working is usually out of the question. So by then, I'm usually not functioning very well. But now I'm noticing that I can get up after a rest. I have a scheduled rest and just go about my business and do things like yesterday. About 5 in the afternoon, I was on the IRS website trying to figure out, trying to get a payment plan put together. I mean, I wouldn't have even tried that 2 weeks ago. I wouldn't have, but there we are. So that's huge. Another thing is that I'm starting to come out of this ongoing lack of hunger and almost nausea nausea when I think about food. When I think about eating meat, the last little while, it's just been kind of like, I don't think, the body's going, don't put that in my body until it's prepared and I'm sitting down to it and I take the first bite, and then it's like, oh my God, this is so good. Uh, but now I'm starting to wake up hungry, which I take as a very good sign. I have my fat coffee in the morning, and I get hungry within an hour after that, which means that my goal to start eating breakfast, to not be in any kind of fasting mode at all, I'm beginning to be able to work towards that. So I'm starting to eat breakfast around 10 in the morning. Now, a word about my coffee. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about eating a stick of butter a day and about how good that is for people who might have thyroid issues, certainly brain and neurology issues. how the weight will melt off and all this kind of stuff. Um, I don't really care if my weight melts off at this point because, yeah, I'm 20 pounds over my ideal weight when I was in my 40s, but I'm in my 70s now, and I don't I don't have a problem with being a little voluptuous, uh, so, anyways, but the whole eat the stick of butter thing really appealed to me because of all the benefits that I thought it was going to have on my nervous system. Well, I did it for a couple weeks. I couldn't ever get to a whole stick, but I radically amped up my butter intake, and I also was adding MCT oil, the really good kind with MCT C6C 8C10, which is awesome for the brain. Um, and the end result of that was disaster pants for days. And I didn't feel good. I didn't feel any more satiated than I did with not eating a lot of butter. I just felt more nauseated and less inclined to have to eat, having to force myself to eat. And and then pretty soon the disaster pants started. And I personally refuse to live that way. I know this isn't good carnivore practice, but I will just live on Imodium. I won't have it. I used to have disaster pants after my radiation. I had 25 rounds of pelvic radiation for my uterine cancer in 2015, and my intestines, it took them a long time to recover, and it took a lot of work on my part, uh, helping my microbiome along, which I did in the last year using supergut yogurt. So I won't tolerate that. But I'm not willing. And when I tried carnivore before, that was enough to make me quit. I don't do diarrhea. I don't accept that as a condition for my eating habits. Um, but I realized that, yeah, it was the butter. And so I cut way back on the, like, first of all, I stopped like putting it on everything, and I stopped putting like 3 tablespoons of it into my coffee in the morning. I do take a really wonderful digestive enzyme, lipogold, which I highly recommend, which is excellent for digesting fat and also protein and carbs. I don't eat carbs, but and I was doubling up on that, and it didn't help. It didn't help at all. I'm not really willing to take bile, you know, bile, because that can that can backfire too. I'd rather do this without really taking any pills at all, except for my digestive enzymes. So I cut way back on the fat, and it took a hot minute. I was surprised how long it took, almost a week, to where now I don't have those potty issues, which makes me feel really good. So the little body said, "No, Grandma, we don't do sticks of butter every day." And maybe I never will. I don't know. I know it's going to be, one of the things that occurred to me is that finally, because I'm into the race part of it, it's my nature is to just plunge ahead and make all these goals and then I'll do this, and then I'll do that. And, that helped when I was a competitive swimmer, but it's not useful now. So I realized, oh, this is a marathon, like Chansonette. You don't have to throw everything into the bucket that might possibly help at once, because this is a marathon. And even one improvement, and I'm having lots of improvements, even one improvement is way better than where you were a couple months ago. So no more sticks of butter for me. I'm glad it works for other people, but I learned that. The other thing is, this goes back to the vitality. I'm finally able to get up in the morning. What I used to, before I relapsed, and for a little while during parts of this relapse when I was feeling better, which never lasted, but I had this really good mini workout routine where I would do, it was like a whole body workout routine where I would do push-offs against, so at an angle, on my kitchen island. So I think before I got really sick again, I was doing three sets of 10 of these three exercises. So I do push offs, then I do waist twists, then I do air squats. And back when I was a gym rat, I was a squats queen. I loved squats with heavy weights, Uh, but now air squats is fine. Air squats is fine. I haven't been able to do those in a long time, months and months and months and months and months. And then about a week ago, the body suddenly went, while I was waiting for my coffee to brew, the body suddenly went, "Hey, Grandma, let's do some push-offs." And I've been able to do those. I think I've been doing them for maybe 10 days. I think all of this has happened since day 30. I'm on day 41 now. So that's been awesome. Every once in a while, every few days, the body will go, "No, let's not do this today." And I can feel it. You know how when you work out, when you're healthy and you're a gym rat and you work out and you up things a little bit, then you have to take kind of an extra rest day because the muscles are just going, owie, owie, owie. Anyways, so that was cool. What else? So marathon, it's not a race. So I'm actually, in terms of my mindset, I'm slowing way, way down. When I first started, we had the whitewater rafting and all this stuff that I was learning and all this stuff that I wanted to incorporate, because I just wanted to get better yesterday. Don't we all? But now I'm going to just approach it like a long, slow river that's right going out into the sea, and just let it flow. Maintain where I am right now and not make any changes. I had planned to not do any more Premier Protein because it's not ideal. But then I realized, why be so strict on yourself? Like, I'm somebody whose eating disorder has to do with restriction. If I approach this way of eating and this way of living with restriction front and center, then I will definitely not the time will come when I will totally binge. And right now, there's a package of really yummy caramel corn on my kitchen counter where I cook, that my daughter brought back from her Christmas party. So we don't want to give grandma's inner addictive voice, any excuse to start on that, because I would eat that all gone in a heartbeat. So I'm simplifying. I'm just keeping it really simple, with one exception, which is that yesterday I made chaffles for the first time. And oh my goodness, they were so good. And I made this wonderful roast beef breakfast sandwich with them. And I have this little tiny mini chaffle maker, which I absolutely love. The kind that I made were over cheesy. Like, I don't want to focus so much on cheese. So next ones I'm gonna try I saw a recipe where you use ground pork rinds. You can put a little cheese in there, but so I'm going to start experimenting and see what I come up with. But the first ones were just to die for, and now I'm a total Chaffos addict, which I think that's pretty good. It's better than vodka and fine wines. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I love you all so, so, so much. I hope you have a magnificent, meaty day and rest of your week, and we'll talk soon.